Not that one, but the very next
one.
Look,
see, right there, yeah.
I'm the director. To put the man in the frame of the lens of the camera, then they make the movie to happen for people to see.
We'll try that.
Okay.
I feel like Serenity is the hardest script I've ever written because I can't give you the next episode. I can't give you a piece of TV and call it a movie. There has to be a reason to make this into a movie, and that took a long time.
See, I'm funny, you go away. I'm eating, you come here.
The television show had all these people who loved it, and that we had the challenge to preserve what they loved about it and what we loved about it.
Good morning, gentlemen. What have you been doing all day?
Slackers.
And at the same time, create a movie that the uninitiated could walk into and jump right into the story and not feel like they had to see the television show.
When Josh wrote the movie, I said, read me the first line and the last line. He goes, okay, this is the first line. It was really cool. He goes, and this is the last line. Boy, it sure was weird how Mal died in the first act.
The first draft was really filled out. It's probably maybe 190 pages long.
There you are.
I, in fact, delivered it to the executives at Universal with the title, The Kitchen Sink. And then they said, this is really, really wonderful. Could you write a movie now?
We're gonna need a new Joss.
So he took it back into his office and beat it around and took the scissors to it and produced the script. And he's an amazing writer, but I really felt an amazing accomplishment.
Let's go through it once before we put it on his feet. Action.
No.
When we went to Universal to do our first table read, it was scary because we hadn't been those characters for a long time. But everybody came back as if they had never left. Everyone still had the same little details in their voices and their mannerisms, the way they played the characters before.
It only works on her, Jane.
Gina said her first line, and Nathan said his first line. We were all like, it was just so wild because you just don't think that you're ever gonna hear that character say anything else, and it was just so great to be there and to have this whole new thing to look forward to and to work on.
Okay, you didn't open your eyes on your cue. You had one thing to do.
It was like visiting with friends that I had not seen in so long, and to hear the rhythms and know what the voices were instead of just a big question mark. Hiro, I wonder who's gonna play that. Oh, I wonder. It was just like a big party all over again.
Or maybe nobody could be bunged out a little. That's just not so dirty.
Ready, Ann. Roll 2 cameras. Rolling.
Parker. And action.
My cartridge fell out of my gun.
And let's cut.
The first couple of weeks of production, we went out on the old Templin Highway up in Castaic and out Sand Canyon, Borrego Springs, hot, dusty, windy, sexy.
You just have to have a little hooch.
Nathan and Adam were just loving it. Gina and I were in the front seat going, can I have a Gatorade? And the boys were like, yeah, we're real superheroes now. They're loving it. They could have stayed out there for months.
Leave Jane. Zoe, go! Drive, damn it! Drive!
We were just happy to be in each other's company again.
We have good interaction. We know each other well, and I think it translates, That stuff is just already there. And then the lines and all of what we have to do in the scene comes next. So it's makes it a lot easier, a lot more fun.
I just get an itch right about here when I saw this harpoon.
Anyway,
I'm sure it's nothing anyway. Let's go. What's this Miranda place? Let's find the beacon.
You always overreact.
That was the thing I was most excited about with the film, was to get, back with this group of people that I genuinely adore and genuinely respect. I mean, not to toot anybody's horns, but I think they're some of the most talented actors that I've ever worked with.
Sean, I'm so embarrassed. You've got a hickey. That's okay, it'll play. It's a space hickey. That'll be great. A spicky.
It's funny because we'll go crying because we're laughing so hard, and then the cameras roll, and it's just sort of like everyone's, so professional and makes their choices and works incredibly hard.
Stay in school, kids.
All of us have this energy that we sort of feed off each other, and we get kind of loopy at the end of the day.
It's hilarious, but the next shot picks up before you have made an idiot of yourself.
But it's wonderful. It's wonderful to come into work and see Nathan and laugh.
And be happy.
We're all just laughing and joking around right before take. Yesterday we were shooting something up on the bridge where like the Reaver ships are coming and it's just really tense moment and we're all petrified and we're already rolling. 2 seconds before Joss calls action, Nathan makes a crack. We all crack up. We're like, crap, okay, I gotta straighten up my face.
Wasn't like a season.
Nathan has the most inexhaustible energy for entertaining that I've been around, and is really, really funny.
What's my line? Flippity-doo.
It's getting to be a better movie for Zoe every day. He is constantly distracting. Nathan is quite a distraction.
It's all lies. You know what? It's so tough sometimes, some of the days we have.
You accept that as...
If Alan says one more thing to me, I'm gonna explode.
Jesus Christ, he's been drinking again, Gina. I told you about this.
Oh, sorry.
It's good to get that off my chest.
Nathan. And his hair. He's a hair actor. He knows it.
Am I gonna have to pull the car
6
over?
up.
You too.
Oh, it's a hair issue. We were doing some hair flinging.
And that's all I have to say about Nathan.
Who's in there?
Excuse me,
You're
sir.
f***ing up my interview.
Can I say something to you again?
You, this is my interview, selfish. I love Nathan, he's so cool. Oh, geez, you were rolling over there. Sorry. No, I love him. He's my captain.
Listen, Adam. Yes, sir. I want you to consider for this next take. Yeah. Act less. No, wait. Act more. No. Stop.
Let's see the final frame,
Just get it right.
Okay.
Nathan.
Yes. Are you clear on the pickup? No. I was joking around.
Okay. Well, what have we learned today?
Joss is boss.
The only dysfunction is in the script. In real life, it's sweet.
You're not so tough. You're not so tough. You're just a little girl.
And there's none of the baggage of it being a real family.
It was a little girl. She had a little curl. Okay.
When you're making a movie, you've got to amp it up. You've got to go to a greater scale. And your hero is going to be heroicaler. Yes, that's a word. Now. This was a little more fun to shoot than most of the action stuff I've done because literally 95% of the stunts are done with our actors.
Ready, and action! We knew from the treatment that Summer Glau was going to have a huge fight sequence. And she's a dancer and has an incredible physical memory, but the kind of fighting she was going to do is very different than dancing. See, if you go over, you get stuck on yourself.
She trained with Chad and Hiro, and it was clear from the start that she was going to be capable of a lot more than you would ever expect from an action star, let alone an actor who isn't one.
3 months before we started shooting the movie, I started going to training every day, and it was intense.
Right.
I worked really hard to be able to do the fight scenes myself.
Good, breathe.
I would say Summer's one of the main reasons we took the job, just because of her physical ability. I mean, she had incredible flexibility, her memory was fantastic, she's very graceful, and she had the ability to pick up new motion very, very quickly.
That's round, bring it inside, so boom, focus. That's it, good.
Joss wanted like a lot of unique, different things that he hasn't seen before, and with Summer, with her flexibility, it's like she just has abnormal flexibility, and so we tried to create impossible moves that she could do on her own and get those hero shots with her.
Action, boom, right.
Summer will work out certain pieces, maybe anywhere from 5 to 15 to 20 moves, and those sequences fit like a puzzle. So by the time she walks on set, she's ready to do this huge amount of physical motion, and we tailor it to go like that.
At that point, we're above her. Can she bring her down and just do like, and then turn around like she's stepping on her neck or something?
Joss was meticulous about choosing all the steps.
Everything can't go her way. Right. The more things she has to deal with at once, the better.
Nothing got by him. He wanted it to be very realistic.
Back. Hey, look, as soon as it touches the ground, look.
It wasn't like, you know, a lot of heavy cutting or, you know, a big wire jump. It was just Summer beating up a bunch of guys. And every time, the 11th take would be faster than the first.
Whoa, nice. Hands up. My finest student. How about yours? Number 1.
We're incredibly fortunate with our entire cast. Obviously, Summer with her dance background. Nathan's probably got some of the best head takes of an actor that we've ever worked with. He just loves to get beat up.
Nathan is not only great at fighting, but great at being hurt. When he gets hit, he really looks like he's in pain. Often because he is, but even when he's not. You know, he threw himself all over the place in the service of this movie. You don't have to do that part of the fight no more.
I always talk about how Harrison Ford's one of those fellows who can really take a punch. When he gets punched, he gets wobbly on his knees. You know he's been punched. You know he's not having a good time. You know that someone's getting the better of him. And I tried to do just that. Copy him exactly. I got rolled. It was a trample of tourists. I think they said they were from Nevada. They're tough. Desert folk, you know. Nomads. That's them. That's the ones. I picked them out of a lineup. They're a lot tougher than they look. And they fight dirty. We were doing a shot where my face hits the floor. And I wanted it to be clear that Malcolm Reynolds was being beaten.
He was slamming his face down on the plexiglass, and I was unaware of it, but there is, you know, take 6 where he's like, what does it say on that slate? I'm like, what is he complaining about? He's really selling this, it looks great.
How many takes does that say?
6.
At one point I said, getting a little tender. The makeup lady, she keeps coming back to me saying, oh, what a great job. This is really wonderful. This has really turned out really... Wait a second. My face had swollen out to enormous proportions right here on my cheekbone.
Yes. Okay.
His whole face started to swell after that because he thought it would look better. And he's like, hey, it's a movie. I'm like, yeah, but it's only Serenity.
You turned a trick into an actual character. That's you are the movie star. Which is why I copy Harrison Ford all the time. Well, that is why you're a movie star.
Joss is a very clever man. I like the way he writes. I like the way he envisions things. I like his ideas. And I think my job is the best because I get to come in and play the part and sweep away with all the credit. You know what I mean?
If only you could do that on film or anything.
It's cool.
Joss? Joss is brilliant. I mean, what can you say? He's so smart, and he's very humble about it, and he's very sweet, and he's very loving, and I luckily get to see that side of him a lot.
And he says, go and do the thing.
Joss is among the directors who are very visually motivated. I think some directors are looking only at character and dialogue and their actors, and other directors, I think, are not paying enough attention to their dialogue. And with Joss, he's writing what he's seeing in his head.
Violence, I just want you to
Explain it. Carefully.
We get along, the writer and the director, better than usual. I'm not saying there were no cat fights. There were a few cat fights. There was some mudslinging that's falling in the pool, that kind of thing.
I think the energy's cool. If they exit left. Yes. Okay.
Even though it's not the right direction. Okay.
Okay.
Lisa Lassek will complain later.
The writer and the director are now fighting with the editor.
It doesn't completely work for the reasons I stated earlier. Your position is
Everything's the
perfect. I don't think so.
You know, that's the thing about the process. It's a process.
You as a person have to understand what he's going through.
Listen, he starts so different from her
Yes,
at the
I know.
beginning.
I know.
So that's
I
what
realize
happens
that.
over
But
the
I
course
think
of that number.
All I'm saying is
We will go back and forth about a line. You don't need this line. It does this, it does this. You're missing this, it does this. It takes the energy away. No, it explains this. It goes from here.
it needs to have a grittiness to it.
I get that. Yeah. Okay, so here, let me back it in.
We're both so passionate about the movie, so our arguments are equally passionate. And, you know, we won't resort to name calling. Some dirty play. But it's all for the good of the movie.
Yeah, this shouldn't ever be an option.
You got it? And I think that is the solution.
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
But
so
can I see it on Spider?
She's enormously imaginative. She understands narrative perfectly. She has the ability, and this is a really tough thing for an editor to do, to be completely in love with everything she's looking at and still go, get rid of that, don't cut there, that's lame.
Oh, you destroyed the film again. I just couldn't help it.
I think the most surprising thing is how hard it is to make a movie.
Sean gets in, shake a, whoo, here comes Adam.
Joss is a very inspirational filmmaker, and I've known him for a long time, and I know how talented he is. And in a town where there are a lot of talented people, I've never met anybody that works harder.
He's squeezing you and you're squeezing him, and who's gonna win?
And it's you.
Everybody tells me how spoiled I am. They say, it will never be like this again. Enjoy it while it lasts. You'll never be this happy, and you'll never be with a cast that loves each other so much. But I hope this is the beginning. I hope I get to be on set with Joss 100 times more. He's the best.
I love Summer. She's so hot.
They're just good friends.
Joss Whedon, my hero. He entrusted a character to me that I love. And this is a part and a project that needed to continue to be told. And here we are.
Shiny, let's be bad guys.
This is good, it's going really well, and I feel good. I feel like we're workshopping it.
Joss had a passion to do this thing, and he had the desire to make a movie and to keep going with this story and these characters. And there's an energy that comes with that I think shows up on screen.
When you hit Sean, and it was really, I hope that's in. It looked, the way it was tilted.
I grew up wanting to make big summer movies, and to have something truly thrilling and to take something away from it that is actually meaningful, that will keep me up, that will make me go back, because I want to understand what I'm being told. I want to think about it. I want to live with these characters and go through what they go through. That's something that I haven't seen enough of lately. So that's what I tried to make.
Got it! God, I love this job.
Roll, please, rolling.
Sounds good. And action! Get these bodies together.
We got time for grave digging?
Zoe, this time they're gonna rope them together. 5 or 6 of them. I want them laid out on the nose of our ship.
Are you insane?
Put Book front and center. He's our friend. We should honor him. Kegley, find that kid who's taking a dirt nap with baby Jesus. We need a hood ornament. Jane, try not to steal too much of their shit. Wash.
Check it, sir.
Let him out of frame a little early.
Okay, guys, checking the gate.
Hey, now don't close out, I've got some awesome movie extra trivia. One of the great pioneers of special effects was Ray Harryhausen. He pushed the limits of imagination, visual effects and miniatures in ways that inspired generations after him. One of his most famous moments in film was a scene in Jason and the Argonauts, where the hero had a sword fight with 7 skeleton warriors. The scene was done with stop motion and took 4 months to complete. Now, do you like my shirt? You can get one for yourself in the shop section under the video.